Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Terrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Welcome back, Toddler Tribe. My last episode was heavy. It was important. And I heard from a good many of you that you are thinking about this. And that's all I was hoping for. So if you didn't hear that one, when you're up for it, go have a listen about the state of education, where we are and where we're headed and what this means for your family. But today I want to start a little mini series called The Three Intelligences. Did you know? Well, it's not that we have three brains, right? We have one brain, but our brain has sections to it. And when we're functioning within one, it's hard for us to access another. And the needs of our brain, the sensory needs, the safety needs have to be met in the first two areas in order for the third to come online. And the third is where we are available to learn. So I'm going to take us through the three intelligences over a few episodes, and I'm going to keep this as non-nerdy as I possibly can, because I want you to start thinking about when you're observing your children in action, in play, in interactions. Where are they? Where are their safety needs being met? Okay, so let's start with the first intelligence, which is emotional intelligence. Now, EI is getting a lot of press lately, and hallelujah for that. It is about time that we're talking about raising emotionally intelligent kids. Yes? So, what does this even mean? I have a friend who's famous for saying, or at least in my world, hope is not a plan. I get that. We can want an outcome, but unless we know what that outcome is, like unless we've defined it, and then we have some type of action plan to get there, that's all it is hope. And hope is not a plan. So emotional intelligence begins with emotional awareness. And that's a distinction, and it's very important that we understand the difference. All right, let me give you some examples, some little silly examples. This morning, I got out of the shower, and immediately afterwards, the shower rod just went, fell, hit the floor. I could have, and in the past I probably would have, reacted quite badly. Like a burst of anger or frustration or like, irritation. But when I'm emotionally aware, I can have those feelings, okay? I can have them, and I did, but I can catch them before they leave me, before they enter the world and they come out of me as energy. I can catch them. I can be aware of them, and I can mentally have statements running through my brain that tell me I'm feeling that and that it's okay. I am irritated. I wish that didn't happen. I am frustrated. That could have hurt me. It almost fell on my toe. All of that can be happening at the same time within me. And that's emotional awareness. But you know what came out of me is one of the scripts that I teach in my book. I said, wow, that was unexpected. And by putting out surprise instead of frustration, I was able to stay calmer and just go fix the dang thing. Okay, so emotional awareness is you knowing how you are currently feeling, accepting that you're allowed to feel that way, but also taking responsibility for how you present that to the world or don't. That's the reaction versus response conversation that we have a lot. So that was a personal example of me and an object that has no humanness to it whatsoever. But consider when your children are doing things, potentially repeatedly, that are poking at you, that are pushing those invisible buttons. Then what? So that is your journey towards emotional intelligence. Another example. Last Sunday, driving to church with my goddaughter in the back seat. Hold on, before I tell you this. I saw, and maybe you did too, a viral video of a mom who got one of those little counters that you can click, 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 click to see how many times something happens or how many people come to an event, just to see how many times her kids said mum to her in a day. Mum, 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 mum. Annoyed yet? 280 times in a day. So, Sunday, we're driving to church. My goddaughter's in the back seat. She's about 2.5 years old. And I wished I had had one of those counters because this is what I hear. Auntie Cara. Yes, love. Nothing. Auntie Cara. Yes, love. Nothing. Auntie Cara. Yes, love. Whatever she had to say. Auntie Cara. Auntie Cara. Auntie Cara. Over and over and over. And here's the myriad of emotions, right? The first time she said it, my heart lit up because, I love that that's an identity she associates with me. And, it's all lovey and mushy and wonderful. Isn't that true for you too, right? Mama. And you're like, they call me mama. That's real. Daddy. They call me daddy. I am someone special to them. But then the 30th time, your emotions have gone from fluffy, warm, and heart melty to, oh my gosh, make it stop. My ear hole can't hear this again. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. This is emotional awareness. Your only job in that stage is to notice and label what you're feeling. Now, as an adult, you have some higher level thinking and eons more experience with the strategies necessary to process those feelings properly, healthily, especially with other people, than your tiny humans do. And that's the job. The job is to teach your children both steps. I was at a play group the other day, and there was a little guy, maybe a little girl. I can't remember which one it was. There are lots of amazing humans, kids there. And one of them started to have a little meltdown. And this mom said, you can have your big feelings, but we're still not fill in the blank. I can't remember what the thing was. And I cheered. I cheered internally, right? That's fantastic. It's a great starting place. You can have your big feelings, but we're still not doing this. Here's the thing. In that statement, this kiddo didn't know what those feelings were. Because remember, toddlers and preschoolers, when they melt, they're gone. They're fully offline. None of these intelligences are firing. They are fully in survival mode that exists in the brainstem, and they seek to return to a state of what feels like physical safety. Because when they're melting down, that out of control feeling, body, mind, and soul, it all just feels unsafe at a cellular level. So her words were such a great start, but we want this little one to know exactly what that thing that he's feeling in that moment is called. Because you can't build emotional awareness as a 3-year-old unless you are practicing that. Now, there's 2 pieces here. Because in that moment, her simply shifting her language and saying, you can feel angry right now, or you can feel frustrated right now, but is an improvement, right? It's a label of the perceived emotion that this child is expressing. But learning doesn't happen in dysregulated moments. It happens in the regulated ones. So that conversation is going to need to be repeated and anchored in a different time when he's calm, and you can return to it. I remember yesterday at the library, you had a struggle. I could tell you were feeling really frustrated or maybe even angry. I wasn't sure which one. Pull a book off the shelf, read a feelings book. See if he can help you and then label it for himself. That is how we teach our kids emotional awareness. And the stacking of these moments is what leads to them being able to apply interactive in the moment strategies to handle their emotions, to process them live time so that they are appropriately communicating them to other people. And that is emotional intelligence building. It's a process. And there's lots of talk right now about big feelings and highly sensitive kids. And I mean, the labels are all over the place. And I'm not a big label maker. I'm not a fan. Every child has feelings. Every child does. We were out for Mother's Day brunch, and the table next to me was like, I just wanted to go do a case study on that table. There were 3 kids at this table, ranging all the perfect toddler years. There looked like there was about a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and then there was maybe like a 4.5-year-old, pushing 5. You could, and so all the stages, all the ages. And I was, these are my people. I'm like trying to focus on my family while this is all happening next to me. Hard for me. And immediately I got a sense of who each one of these kids was. The 1-year-old was just like doing what 1-year-olds do, right? Observing, seeking, looking, taking it all in, making silly faces, smiling, whining a little because they wanted a piece of food, getting the food, being fine that they got it, all the good. But very settled in their body while all that was happening. The almost 5-year-old was engaging, was having conversations, sitting quietly sometimes, being that almost 5-year-old. This middle kid, oh my gosh, she was my favorite, of course, because she was the challenging one. She had a meltdown and it was huge. They left, came back. Okay. She had a moment of pure joy when her food arrived. It was huge. And by huge, for both of these, I mean loud, obvious, and permeating the entire room. And my family said something to me about this kid, and I was like, oh yeah, she feels everything big. She feels anger big, and she feels joy big. She feels frustration big, and she feels happy big. They were like, oh, do you know her? And I said, no, I've never met her. I can just tell you this by observing her. So the work it's going to take, the intentional work it's going to take these parents, and I bet they're figuring this out already, to teach emotional awareness and emotional intelligence to her is going to be a very different journey than for the little one who's just so chill in their body. They light up, but it's a quiet light. And they frustrate, but it's a quiet whine. These are the observations that you have to start making in order to be sure that you're meeting your kiddo where they are currently with their emotional awareness knowledge and feeding into it. Because everybody can get there, as long as the appropriate expectations are put on what they currently have to work with and where we want to go. So the new SMART, number 1, right? We're redefining SMART here, folks, is emotional awareness and intelligence. And this is your task for the week. Check out your kids. Watch them in action. Watch them in play. Listen to them as they communicate with you. Have moments where your only goal is to assess their energy and to see where they are on this scale. And if you happen to have the book, Talk to Them Early and Often, then check out page 54, because this is what we're working off of. It's called the Statometer, and it's the 3 states of being that have to be all fully regulated and online in order for kids to learn. And if you don't have the book, well then go get it. Use the link in the show notes, get your copy, and you can take this journey with us. All right, Toddler Tribe, another amazing episode. I'm so excited that we are doing this exploration of learning and growing together. And you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive until our next episode as we transform the toddler years.